ollaan Tuskan Bäkkäri-alueella ja täältä löytyy sellainen herra kuin Satyr. Hello, mister. How are you?
I'm very good. I enjoyed my show yesterday a lot, so I don't know if I'm upbeat today because I didn't sleep so well, but I'm in a good mood because I had a good experience last night.
So how come you didn't sleep well last night? Were you at the bar?
No. I did have some wine yesterday, but I went to bed early, but I had 2 nightmares in a row. The second one I don't remember clearly, but the first one was about torture, violence, and death. It's true. So it can be, you know, inspirational for lyrics or whatever, but for sleep, it's not such a good thing. You know, 2010 is an off year for Satyricon, and we had booked 2 shows last year before making the decision that this year was going to be an off year. And coincidentally, both of those shows were here in Finland. So we did the Metal Expo in February and this show, and we're not scheduled to do any more shows this year. So obviously when you do 2 shows in a year, those 2 shows mean even more than they would usually do. And it was a crowd with a really good fighting spirit last night. So I had a very, very good time, and everyone in the band was very pleased about how things went down after the show. So it was a good day for us. Whatever we were asked to do in 2010 after we made the decision to take a break, we've turned down. The reason for taking the break is basically because ever since the writing process for Now Diabolical back in 2005, it's been a non-stop thing. Writing Now Diabolical, recording it, promoting it, touring the world with it, coming back, writing The Age of Nero, promoting it, touring the world. And it's been 4 years non-stop work. And for me, it came to the point where, especially last year, it was so intense that I felt like I don't want to start another cycle of doing this again. Before we go ahead and do something like this again, I want some time off in between to do other things, both musically and non-musically. And I think that for me, the next Satyricon record should not be a logical continuation of The Age of Nero. It should be something brand new and fresh to try and open a new musical chapter for Satyricon is my goal for the future. I want to make a great record that's going to be different from all the other records that we've done. And before I start that working on that process, I need some time off.
It's probably really relaxing to know that you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah, it's also a good way of becoming or being at your best creatively, actually. Yeah. For me, probably it isn't so much about like lying on the couch or going on holiday. It's about not doing Satyricon all the time.
When can we expect like the next Satyricon album to be out?
I'm guessing if everything goes the way I foresee it, in 2012. My plan is to start writing next year, and it's probably going to be a process that's going to go into 2012.
It seems like you're evolving with each album. Which direction are you going with the new one now?
I'm not sure, and that's the exciting part of it, and that's also one of the reasons why I'm having this off year, because if I'm constantly running from one place to the next, I have no time to really, you know, find out where I want to go musically. But now I started noticing that in the last couple of months, all of a sudden I get more and more ideas of, you know, what we can do in the future musically. And I think the main reason for that is because now I've had the time to breathe a little bit and do other things. So now I think more clearly, creatively speaking. I think maybe I can achieve some of the things that I want and add a different flavor to them with using other instruments than the traditional, rock band instruments. And that's one thing that I will be looking into.
I heard you're a big record collector, and I also heard this story about you having the Burzum EP that has Euronymous' blood on it. Is this true?
Yeah, that's true. I have many records with a history behind them, but for me, the most important thing was basically to get the original versions of some LPs. That has been very important to me because I don't know, it just feels like more the real deal to have the first original edition. But I always said that I will never really say that I stop collecting until I get the first Bathory album with the yellow goat. And finally I got it in December last year. So now I am at peace with myself.
And I hear you also collect wines now. Yeah. How's that working out for you?
It's kind of like the same thing with records, that if I run into some wines that I've heard great things about and that I know are very special and unique wines, I try and buy them if I can afford them. I'm very skeptical when you run into bottles that cost 350 euro, whatever. Let's say it has been in the ownership of many people. Maybe someone kept it in a good cellar for 20 years, and then the next person who bought the bottle had it in the kitchen, and the wine can be destroyed,
Well, has there ever been a time like you've opened a bottle and in the morning you're like, fuck, I should have done that?
I'm more like, you only live once. I remember there was one time where Frost and his girlfriend, they visited and had my tech was at my apartment. And I opened some nice bottles of wine and they were extremely good. And everyone was so excited about it, so I got a little bit carried away. And I opened some very precious bottles and I just kept on doing it. And it was a great night, and the next day I looked at it and I know how hard some of these bottles are to get hold of, and I know the price of them. So next day I was a little bit, but then I just thought, yeah, fuck it, you only live once, and if you can't share your greatest bottles of wine with your friends, who else? And you just save money and buy another bottle of great special wine some other time. Yeah.
All right, I think that's all from me. Is there anything you want to say to our Finnish fans?
Thank you for making our show at Tuska such an amazing experience. It was really special and it was very inspiring for the band.